Peace. Ooh, it's been a motherfucking second. It's been a second because ain't no such thing as time. I know that ain't make no sense. Hey, oh shit, we got a lot going on. You know what I'm saying? We got a, we got a whole, we got a whole lot going on, right? Now, not really. You know me, I get straight to it. So I know you see this white screen, you can't really see it, but it's talking about some shit that I'm gonna get into. I probably pull you up to it or whatever to see it. You're not gonna be able to read it because it's gonna come back backwards. But basically, what I want to say is a lot of what's going on right now is the same shit that's been going on. You get what I'm saying? As far as a cycle, you get me? Now, a cycle meaning a fucking circle. You feel what I'm saying? Something that's on and on and on and on and on and on and on. You feel what I'm saying? Now, I keep hearing the concept that consciousness, you know what I'm saying, us, we make up 0.01, whatever the fuck of the population. And there's 7 billion some people on this planet, which is, that's more believable, you get what I'm saying, when I get that, when I finish explaining what the fuck I'm saying. Keep hearing this concept, right? What does it really mean though? It means that if it's 7 billion motherfuckers on this planet, you feel what I'm saying, and we make up less than 1% as far as consciousness goes, that means I knew you in the past life, regardless of what you're doing. I knew you. You get what I'm saying? And as far as like where you at, what path you took, and all of that shit, right? Now, the rest of the population really doesn't matter. For real, for real. If you truly conscious, you not woke, you get what I'm saying, and you understand what's really going on and what time it is, then you know who you truly are. We done been talking about this shit for a long ass time. I've been talking about it. You get what I'm saying? And it's plenty of others that's way before me, way before anybody else. That's all of these YouTube motherfuckers. You get what I'm saying? So why am I saying all that shit? And what does this really mean? Who are you? You get what I'm saying? And what is your purpose? You know, a person asked me who I was and what my purpose was, and I told them my honest opinion. My honest opinion was I chose this. I don't think that individual really understood what I meant when I said I chose this. You feel what I'm saying? I chose this, you chose this. Quite frankly, we all did. But I'm talking about us. You get what I'm saying? It's a difference between them and us. They and them. You get what I'm saying? It's a complete difference. And it ain't no difference as okay, we better or none of that shit or whatever. You get what I'm saying? I've been lately I've been wondering about things. You know what I'm saying? Inquiring on things. And the spirit just been coming to me and just giving me motherfucking answers. You get what I'm saying? I know that shit. I know it's what it's supposed to do. But I've been going through a whole bunch. You see, I ain't been dropping no videos, so it's a whole lot going on with me. So I ain't been paying attention how I'm supposed to be paying attention. But when I do, you feel what I'm saying, I get right back on this shit. So it's a major difference. You know what I'm talking about? What these motherfucking these ancients was doing. You know what I'm saying? The Egyptians, every motherfucking body. What these motherfuckers was doing. You know, we talk about how we study the great mystery, and the great mystery being death. You get what I'm saying? What they were doing was, along with the ancestors, and the ancestors being that primordial excrement, you feel what I'm saying, from the primordial worlds. You feel what I'm saying? Or the spiritual divine excrement of the primordial worlds. You get what I'm saying? Which is just the shit, nigga. That's like what we is. We the shit. So what they was doing was purifying this shit from the spirit realm. You get what I'm saying? Resurrecting the dead race. That dead race being us. You feel what I'm saying? The ancestors or the titans or the primordial beings. You get what I'm saying? I know a lot of us that's on this time. I know a lot of y'all feel like y'all are changing. I know you feel like a lot of you right now is feeling like, man, Joe, I feel something other than what the fuck everybody's saying I am. You know what I'm saying? I feel different from my family. All of that shit. That shit plays a big role in this shit. You get what I'm saying? The scientists gonna tell you have 98% junk DNA, right? And 2% of you, you know what I'm saying? That's the human. So that's what we interacting with. The other percent is junk DNA. That is a library of viruses and bacteria. If 98% of you, you know who I'm talking to when we having this conversation. And mind you, it's for educational purposes only because YouTube done already tagged me. But if 98% of your junk DNA makes up you, right? That like the other half of you is 98% junk DNA. How the fuck, right, are you a human? You know what I'm saying? How are you a human? Now, it sounds crazy, right? It sounds crazy. But on a quantum level, all of these gods, that's what I'm trying to get the motherfuckers to understand, that you know you shouldn't worship them. Where the fuck that water go? All of these gods and shit, goddesses, these spirits, all of this energy or whatever, on a quantum scale, you feel what I'm saying? On a quantum scale, that's what the fuck these represent. Viruses. So when I learned that shit, it made me start to think you gotta go get the ISIS disease. I've been saying and I ain't gonna keep saying this shit. But I try to get away from that shit and it just everything just keeps coming back to that shit. Cause this is the time now. So but anyways, right. They're lists, well not lists, but they're viruses. When I learned that shit, I started to think like, man, if all of these guys and goddesses and all that shit on a quantum scale, mind you, right now and only now and only then ever, we only been talking about the quantum realm, which is the realm that you can't see, the spirit realm. You get what I'm saying? When we talking about microbes and quantum mechanics and all that shit, we talking about viruses and bacteria and shit like that. You get what I'm saying? Niggas don't understand that the light that they talking about, all that shit is bacteria. Your aura that's coming up off of you is an actual bacteria. You get what I'm saying? If you put that shit on a camera, you feel what I'm saying, a certain type of camera, that shit is gonna look like bacteria. Now, if you had another special camera, it's gonna show up as light, but that's all it is your own energy. You get what I'm saying? So, though, for those of you that, because I ain't finna keep going on that shit, for those of you that know what's going on as far as the light phase lambda, what's going on with that shit, that's what's going on. Your eukaryotic cells, you feel what I'm saying? We getting bacterial phase light from a eukaryotic cell, prokaryotic cell. You feel what I'm saying? Which comes from a solar object, a sun. You feel what I'm saying? And I've been saying this shit. It's a book. I can't quote right now. I gotta get this motherfucker because it blew my motherfucking socks off. You know what I'm saying? But there's something in that shit. And they talk about melanin, how it's being coded, different forms of melanin. But watch this. I've been telling everybody, what am I looking for? Oh, I've been telling everybody to get the ISIS thesis. I've been telling everybody to get the ISIS thesis when I think you should still get it or whatever. But I got another book for y'all, and when I get it, I'm gonna let y'all know. But this motherfucker says that the new race or whatever, you feel what I'm saying, is gonna be lambda melanin. You feel what I'm saying? I've been saying, not just me, but I've been saying, right? We transforming into Homo sapiens lambda. So that right there, and that was Bobby. So I gotta go get that book. You get what I'm saying? I gotta keep, he quoted that book. I gotta go get that book because I ain't going. I need that. This is going on with what the fuck I got going on. You get what I'm saying? Not just me, but nigga, if you don't, If you don't take the motherfucking call, you get what I'm saying? That's up to you. I take the motherfucking call, but it still affects you regardless. So any fucking way, you got these viruses. You feel what I'm saying? From millions and millions of years ago. You get what I'm saying? That's inside of you that scientists are gonna tell you that you have no access to, right? But just by dealing with these different gods and goddesses and all that shit, because mind you, we over here in whatever you want to call it, I don't give a damn what you want to call this motherfucking place. You feel what I'm saying? We over here, and these motherfuckers, it's a lot of different races, whatever you want to call it, however you want to break that down. It's a lot of different species of us, or whatever the fuck, us, over here. And everybody's saying, I'm right, and they're wrong, and this, that, and the third, or whatever, and all that shit, or whatever. We already know the score when it comes to that shit. The result of having all of that shit, or all of those stores, all of those tribes act as the other 10 strands of our DNA, which exist in our junk DNA. You got 2 strands of DNA, that's what they tell you. But everybody said we're supposed to have 12. You know about that. You still have them. You just have to reactivate them. It exists, but it exists inside of your junk DNA. You get what I'm saying? By recombining and reconstructing and remembering, you get what I'm saying? All of these different goddesses, gods, all of these spirits, all of this shit, right? Y'all, see, I ain't gonna get on this bitch and be explaining it like how I used to. You feel what I'm saying? Those of you that know, you should already know. So, when you dealing with this shit and you fucking with this shit, you already know that you reattaching yourself. You feel what I'm saying? You building, you get what I'm talking about, your Osarian body. Now, they got some, the Aurora Borealis. You feel what I'm talking about? What do you call that shit? A coronal mass ejection. You get what I'm saying? All that shit is, right? All that shit is when you die, right? When you die, when the flesh is gone, you become your 98% junk DNA. You have to know how to maneuver that. Now, in your waking life, by dealing with that shit or whatever, you will know how to maneuver that, right? Using the Coriolis effect, right? Look that shit up. Using that, you will yourself to the northern lights. Now, that coronal mass ejection, right? That shit is when the sun is hitting the atmosphere so motherfucking hard, it's piercing that bitch, and it's coming in and it's coming out. Now, when you look up the northern lights, it's green and whatever, right? That soul's leaving this bitch. All these motherfuckers talking about they dying, they want to go to heaven, they want to do all this bullshit or whatever and all that shit. Ain't nobody talking about that because it's an electromagnetic sphere around this motherfucker. And I've been saying it, I'm going to keep on saying it, because if it's electromagnetic sphere around this, and if all you truly is a soul, right, it's blocking solar winds from coming in and getting out. You can't leave this motherfucker. You feel what I'm saying? We've been here. Where we at right now is a motherfucking matrix. You feel what I'm saying? When you die, you still going to be on Earth, just in a different realm. You get what I'm saying? That's it, that's all. Living inside yourself. Niggas don't, you know what I'm saying? They don't understand that shit. So it goes back to what the fuck I was just saying. Go back. So now, why am I saying all of that shit, right? I'm saying all that shit because they talk about, right, this new race of motherfuckers, right? But it's supposed to be pre-existing, right? The pre-existing race exists inside of us, which is us. You feel what I'm saying? We talk like this because we done fell in love with our flesh so much. You not the flesh. You what's inside the flesh. Deep inside your gastrointestinal regions, you feel what I'm saying, where the shit at, you feel what I'm talking about, is an invisible spirit. That's your motherfucking soul. You get what I'm saying? And I'm talking to a different crowd when I say that shit, because I don't even want to talk to them. You feel what I'm talking about? They shouldn't even be here. Now, Back to you guys. You know who the fuck I'm talking to. Who are you? Right? I set out to say something. Who are you? Right? It was a group of us, right? It was a group of us that chose to come back and here in this time. You know what I'm saying? That chose to come back here in this time because we knew that this shit was gonna happen. You feel what I'm saying? If a motherfucker can't relate, then you the motherfucker that we supposed to have come back to motherfucking, I guess, help, I guess. You feel what I'm saying? If that's what you want to call it. Because I don't feel like I can help you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping it in the band with your motherfucking ass. So a group of us volunteered. You feel what I'm saying? Upon making it out of this motherfucking matrix and not having to come back to this motherfucker or whatever, a group of us volunteered and say, you know what? Out of the compassion for the souls that exist within inside of these bodies that's here. You feel what I'm saying? Because there's some motherfuckers, y'all souls is here. You are here. You exist here in this realm. You get what I'm saying? And there's some motherfuckers that chose to come back here. You feel what I'm saying? To help motherfuckers. Those motherfuckers came back with a certain amount of memory. You know who you are. You always felt different. You know what I'm saying? You always ask questions. You might have even been a motherfucking Christian growing up. But that shit just wasn't hidden for you. You know what I'm saying? And what I'm saying right now, you probably already heard it already, right? You probably already heard it, so you probably thinking like, yeah, I heard that shit before, so yeah, ooh, and all that shit. If you heard it already, why the fuck you ain't doing what I'm doing right now? Why the fuck it ain't hit you hard enough? You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is, nigga, we not the same, nigga. If we was all the same, then we wouldn't have had to make the choice, the decision, or have the motherfucking compassion to come back to save a motherfucker or to help a motherfucker get to the point where we at. You feel what I'm saying? Listen, you done heard that before or whatever, right? But the motherfucker ain't, because they ain't know when they told you. Motherfucker ain't tell you that you wasn't here. Yeah, you not here. What I mean by that? What I mean? I mean, when you die, right? Your soul or your spirit, because your spirit is a form of your consciousness, meaning it's the data that existed here. This flesh is just the apparatus. This flesh is the apparatus. It's the motherfucker controller, nigga. It's this. It's the controller. You know what I'm talking about? As to why you or how you operate, basically. It's the controller for how you operate here and experience the game. What I'm about to get into. Now, when you die, nigga, your motherfucking spirit goes wherever your soul is. Right? Pay attention. If you believe, look up what belief is. It's an assumption. I assume. I don't believe nothing until I am convinced. You know what I'm saying? And then I just not, why am I believing? I know already. So if you believe, listen, if you believe that heaven is real, whatever heaven is, right? Mind you, a Muslim thinks when they die, they're going to go and see the land of milk and honey, right? In this solar system, if it's real, if it's not, it's something called the Goldilocks realm or whatever the fuck you want to call that shit. And the Goldilocks realm is why the fuck you can breathe and all this shit, organic life, whatever. It's just the right temperature, basically. That's what the fuck that means. And you have the Milky Way. That's where that concept comes from, the land of milk and honey. The land of milk and honey. What the fuck? The stars up there. The land. That's the land, though. So, as above, so below. You know what I'm talking about? Where the fuck would that be here? You know what I mean? You have to imagine that shit. And so when you die, if you believe that shit, you feel what I'm talking about, then that's where you would go. But only if you believed, right, you were worthy enough. You know, most people die scared. You know what I'm saying? Guilty and all of that shit. Remember I told you, you can't die with that guilt. So that's how you're gonna go, or that's how you're gonna get there. Now us, we created these realms so we didn't have to incarnate here. You feel what I'm saying? Because we knew that this bitch was a jail. This fuck Earth being a prison, nigga. You feel what I'm saying? This body is a motherfucking prison. You niggas be talking about how Earth is a jail and fuck it. America and all this bullshit, you feel what I'm saying? Locking the man down. Fuck all that bullshit, nigga. The body. Simple point blank period, nigga. Soon as you get here, right? Soon as you get here, think of this. A child, when a child get here, you running shit. You know what I'm saying? Everybody love the baby. Baby do whatever the fuck they want to do. You feel what I'm saying? And you got to teach the baby, giving it an ego. You feel what I'm saying? Oh, no, I ain't going to do this. I ain't going to do that. I ain't going to do this. And you mold it and shape it or whatever, and this motherfucker lose what he had coming in this bitch. He or she, you feel what I'm saying? Because they just came back from that realm. Why do they come here? You niggas be calling motherfuckers down here through sex, through mindless, useless sex. But that's besides the point. That's totally besides the point. Now, when you pass, if you believe that shit, then that's what's gonna happen. But it's not real. Mind you, it's still here. You never left there. You never left. You can't leave. That don't exist out there. You know what I'm saying? It don't exist. If the only thing that's real is the spirit, right? But this, I'm not the spirit, but the soul, and this motherfucking this thing is blocking out solar winds and all of that shit or whatever. How the fuck do you expect to get up out of here if you don't know the way? You know what I'm saying? You may be living your life and fucking with this other shit and doing all that shit or whatever and all of that, but it's not. It ain't real. And don't get on this bitch thinking like, oh man, you thinking your shit real? No, cause it's not my shit, nigga. When I die, I'm going wherever the fuck I'm going. When you die, I want you to go wherever the fuck you go, nigga. Not where a book told you. You get what I'm saying? Where a book told your motherfucking ass you was going, where a nigga told your motherfucking ass you was going. You get what I'm saying? The ISIS is not gonna tell you where the fuck you going. ISIS is gonna tell you how the fuck to do it, what you need to do. You feel what I'm saying? What will happen? You feel what I'm saying? All of that shit. And don't get up on this bitch saying, well, how you know if that's real or not and all that shit or whatever. The same way you be thinking that the Christianity and all the other religions and all the other shit is real or whatever, because this is what it comes from. This is what it comes from, and it's never been broken down like this. You'll never see it. You will never see it. And if you do, when you do, right, it's going to be from a motherfucker that had already had the shit, had already gotten it. You feel what I'm saying? See, you motherfuckers hear this shit and been hearing it. I promise you and guarantee. You feel what I'm saying? You take heed to this shit, you get into this shit or whatever, you're gonna find out that you've been hearing it your whole spiritual journey, maybe even longer. At least that's my experience. You get what I'm saying? And I was never looking for no shit like, well, I mean I was, but not nothing like this. You saying? Like it's just what it is for a motherfucker that's doing this. You get what I'm saying? Cause this is what's important. How you gonna lead this motherfucker? Fuck the rest of this motherfucker. I heard some shit. A motherfucker told me, cause you know they talk about the 144,000. I never really got into that shit, but I realized that was us. That was the conscious motherfuckers I was looking up. It was just I understood it was just a few motherfuckers. We was always here. Motherfucker told me you got to reach 144,000. I don't know. I never saw that. It sounds interesting, but it goes against true spirituality. You know what I'm saying? Trying to, like, seeking out, trying to help motherfuckers and all of that shit or whatever. That's not what it's about. You supposed to be seeking the light from within. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta go in the dark and seek the light from within. You get what I'm saying? So then you can project that shit. And if a motherfucker comes to you, then of course, you get what I'm saying? But seeking a motherfucker out and all because you find yourself falling on your motherfucking head, falling on your face. You know what I'm saying? I definitely got a gift. Motherfuckers call me all the time and do all types of shit. But like, bro, like, I'm not calling nobody knocking you on the motherfucking head with this shit. You feel what I'm saying? That's not what this shit is about. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that that's what motherfuckers is doing, but I'm saying, like, that's not what it's about. Now, for motherfuckers that don't know, I I I became aware. You know what I'm saying? I regained awareness, regained consciousness, however you want to call that shit. I just said I became conscious. I became conscious in 2017, I want to say. You know what I'm saying? And in 2020, I had Kundalini experience. You know what I'm saying? I had an ego death. I had an awakening. The difference between, you know what I'm saying, you conscious and you having a motherfucking awakening, right? It's different. For me at least. I'm gonna give my explanation. Okay, consciousness. When I became conscious, when I got into this, right, it was no word woke. At least that wasn't popular. I was in jail, so niggas wasn't saying we woke. Niggas say like I woke up, but niggas wouldn't say like I'm woke. We use the word conscious, and for motherfuckers that already know, right? I understood. Well, I didn't understood, but I didn't understand then, but I get it now. Niggas wasn't using that shit like like a gang or none of that shit. It was just the word motherfuckers was throwing around like niggas conscious. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying that to say when I started hearing woke, I started to say like nigga, what the fuck is that? Nigga, I'm conscious. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference. At least that's what I thought. And then I started hearing other motherfuckers saying the same shit. Like, yeah, nigga, it's a difference. You know what I'm saying? So I know I ain't the only motherfucking one. Now, an awakening, right? Me personally, nigga, I feel like you can have many awakenings. You know what I'm saying? I had an awakening on a Lionsgate portal, August 8th, 2020. You know what I'm saying? 2020, 2019. It was like 2020, right? And for me, it was scary as fuck. But after that, after I found out what was going on with me and shit, I realized I didn't know shit. And I ain't finna get into all of that shit. And then I just turned up after that with my knowledge or whatever, right? But it's the path that I took. But it's the path that I took because of who I am, right? Most motherfuckers get into this shit, right? Most motherfuckers get into this shit for the wrong reasons. I got into this shit for myself, purely self. Even before I learned that this is what it was about. Nigga, I just want to better my motherfucking self, period, point blank. How can I utilize this shit to better myself day to day? You know what I'm saying? How can I implement this shit in my day to day? You know what I'm saying? Movements and all of that shit. How can I do it? That was my mental. I see a lot of people, right? They get into these things or whatever and all that shit. They hold so much power. You feel what I'm saying? And then they choose a path. I'm a man of many paths. I'm not a man at all. Neither are you or a woman. We transform it into something greater. You feel what I'm saying? Something greater, something that's never been seen on here. A true light, right? And I think you guys have to focus on that. But I had to explain to you to understand what it really was. Light is nothing but bacteria. Now, I'm not saying go get dirty. What I'm telling you is pay attention. You know what I'm saying? They told you this virus was coming. This virus was coming from motherfucking Bill Geist. Educational purposes only. Betelgeuse. You know what I'm saying? And that's a fucking bacterial light, right? Look this shit up. What the fuck cosmic light is? You know what I'm saying? Uh, Gamma ray bursts and shit like that. All that shit is just bacteria. You feel what I'm saying? And we held the specific elements inside of us that would mixed, we could transform and transmute our DNA. You feel what I'm saying? I had somebody looking at my my little what you call that, my little natal chart, and I ain't gonna say too much, but inside of it I don't got no Scorpio on my shit, whatever the fuck that means. I know what it means. Basically, it means I have no emotions in my shit, but I have emotions. I cry all the time. You know what I'm saying? I cry all the time. I get mad like a regular motherfucker. Like I feel emotions, but it was weird to this individual because it was no water in my shit. You gotta think I'll be one of the gods. And I'm not saying that like this individual wasn't. I believe this individual was cold as fuck. You just took a path. You feel what I'm saying? You just took a path. And this is why I'm talking about, well, this is why I said what I said about that retrograde shit earlier. And anybody don't know what that shit is, all that shit is just when planets is moving backwards. When planets is rotating backwards. So a lot of times, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna be feeling like emotional. You feel what I'm saying? You will feel like your ex, like you know, you want to double back on your ex. Your ex may double back on you and all that shit or whatever, right? Let me tell you this, right? I never felt that because it happens frequently. That shit, I didn't even know what was going on. I think 3 planets was just going on. It's probably still going on now. I don't know, but it doesn't affect me. Not one of my exes text me, and I ain't text one of my exes. That shit don't affect me like that. Because you have to learn, right? You have to learn that this shit is inside of you. When they say as above, so below, that means that, okay, you got planets up there. That means the planets up there, the one and the ones that exist inside of you, you can then dictate those planets from here. You feel what I'm saying? That shit really don't exist like that. But none of this shit really exists. But for the game, as far as the game goes, right? As far as the game goes, when you have your natal chart read or just study up on, I feel like look up this app, this natal app. You got to know the time of your birth, though. You know what I'm saying? Got to know the time of your birth. And you get the time of your birth, it's going to tell you everything. Just learn what that shit means, and you'll just figure out everything about yourself. You get what I'm saying? And then you go beyond that. The thing is, right, you got these zodiacs or whatever, right? These zodiacs are like, if you ever been in jail, these zodiacs are like wardens to a motherfucking prison. Judges, it's 12 of them motherfucking ass. You know what I'm saying? Supreme motherfucking court. If you think about it, right, I'm a Leo, right? But I love like a motherfucking Virgo. No, nigga. And watch this. If you don't pay attention to it, right, then it will affect you. That's the key. But people, they study this shit. Okay, so when it happens, they're like, oh, I know why I'm feeling like this or whatever and all that shit. It's an excuse. No, nigga. It's 12 zodiacs. You're supposed to become the 13th. I'm not talking about that bullshit, that shit they was talking about a few years ago. I'm talking about you're supposed to become the Christ. So you have a hieroglyphic, the hieroglyphic for the sun, with the circle and a dot in the middle of that shit. You're supposed to step out of that. It's just like the clock with the 12 numbers on that bitch, like 12 zodiac. You're supposed to be that middle point. You're supposed to step outside of time. You feel what I'm saying? Discipline all of those disciples. You know what I mean? Now, I really think motherfuckers should do that. Just so you can figure it out, who you truly are. Now, going back to what the fuck like the beginning of the video. I want to talk about NPCs. I got this shit right here. You can't see it, but I'll read it to you. It say, what is an NPC? An NPC means non-playable character or non-player character. It's a term borrowed from the video game or from the world of video games for a character that's controlled by the computer rather than a player, right? So basically what the fuck that shit means is, right? What it means is self-explanatory. It means when you play a game and you see those motherfuckers that you can't control, like the regular pedestrians, or when you're watching a movie and you have the motherfuckers in the background, right? What does that mean? What does he mean by that? Every day you wake up and you get up, right? I'm talking to you because you're not an NPC. You can't be an NPC if you on YouTube watching this, right? It's 1,000 other motherfucking videos you could be on watching YouTube, right? I'm not talking to the motherfuckers that probably subscribe to this and I'm dropping a new video today, so you watching it. I'm talking to them new motherfuckers that's on here. You watching this shit and you like, hey, why you turn on this? You know what I'm saying? So a motherfucker is programmed, right? It is a term borrowed from the world of video games for a character that is controlled by the computer rather than a player. Right? 1 second. 1 motherfucking second. Let me show you something. Let me show you some cold shit. Right? Now, watch this. Now, is you ready for this? It says, right? It says. I'm talking about this says person, right? Human being regarded as an individual, used in legal or formal context to refer to an unspecified individual, right? An individual characterized by a preference or a liking for a specific thing. You feel what I'm saying? Watch this. A character in a play or a story, right? An individual's body. What the fuck does that mean? It was good. It was good until you got to that point. Until you got to that fourth little dot right there. You know what I'm saying? So, what you call it? Those are definitions, because when you get to the origin, it's a actor's mask, right? Actor's mask, character in a play. That's what a person is. That's what a human being is. You niggas are not human beings, right? You watching this motherfucking video, you can't be that. Yes, if you possess the 6 protons, 6 electrons, and 6 neutrons, right? You are 100% a human. Yes, you are. But this new melanin that they talking about, I don't want, when I make this video about this shit, I mean, yeah, look it up and get into that shit, but don't make this shit something what it ain't. You feel what I'm saying? Just use this shit for for how you supposed to use it. Don't make this shit some big ass shit. Oh, we got this and that. No, that's not what it's about, nigga. It's information. So, my nigga, you got this coded melanin, nigga. This lambda melanin. And If you're a person that plays video games, you're a person that watch movies and all that shit or whatever, pay attention to the NPCs, right? Like if you got Grand Theft Auto right now, Grand Theft Auto, I would say don't play online. If you play games, you play Grand Theft Auto 5, don't play online because you know motherfucker gonna fuck you up. Play story mode and just follow an NPC around and see what they do. Follow them around and see what they do. You can't really do it in movies, but watch what NPCs do in movies. You know what I'm saying? Just watch what they do, like the background characters. I said to say this. In real life, reality, when you see a motherfucker, you go to work, you go to school, store, traffic, any of that shit. You see a lot of motherfucking faces, right? Your first thought is all these motherfuckers are real. I know you heard this before. You had to, right? Ain't no original thought, nigga. It's all quantum entanglement, right? But let me break this down for you, because sometimes you just might need to hear this shit in a different light, right? Because I'm experiencing this shit. Because I was one of the motherfuckers that heard this shit, right? Now I feel the need to talk about it because I'm experiencing some shit, and it don't fuck me up. It's funny, really. That's the fucked up part about it. It's because it's funny to me. Like, damn, this shit really happens. Like, not it ain't fact like a nigga don't believe this shit, but it's like, damn, this shit really be happening. So anyway, you see a lot of faces. You think all these people are real, right? Every one of you that's watching this video, everybody has a routine. Everybody has something they do every single day, right? Now, with that being said, you feel what I'm saying? We don't never pay attention to the faces that we see. You maybe a face that's familiar. You feel what I'm saying? You know, oh yeah, I see that motherfucker every day. So if you speak to that motherfucker, yeah. But all the 1,000 faces, you see 1,000 motherfucker faces a day, and it be the same motherfuckers. If you have a routine, that is. But I say period, depending on where you stay at. You don't know what these motherfuckers do outside of the game or outside of the movie. Yeah, motherfucker got a wife, motherfucker got a husband, motherfucker got kids, motherfucker got a job, motherfucker got a whole life, right? But if you on this video and you've been following this information, or you've been following all of this information, because my information ain't my information. This your information. It's all our information. You feel what I'm saying? Every motherfucking speaker that's coming through this motherfucker, every motherfucking spirit that's speaking through me. You get what I'm saying? This is all our shit. You know what I'm talking about? You not living that life. You know what I'm saying? That life wasn't enough for you. This is why you on this YouTube video right now watching this shit. Nigga, this is why I'm doing YouTube. Because that shit wasn't enough for me. You feel me? So, I could just go get a job. You know what I'm saying? Just be that dude. You know what I'm saying? Like the husband with the kids and all that shit. Not to say nothing against all that. And be okay with that shit. Just going every day. I had to be more. I don't go to church. I don't do none of that shit. You don't neither. Why? What? How was they real and how was you real at the same time? Oh, they sleep. Okay, but that means that they can wake up. That means they can become conscious. What about the ones that don't? What about the ones that won't? What about the ones that when this motherfucker come up missing, he's replaced with a doppelganger, basically. Let's just say that. You don't pay attention. Oh, it's getting deep. Okay, right. I know my setting for the people that knows me. I know the setting looks kind of familiar. That's because I'm back in the same place. About 6-7 months ago, right? Motherfucker, boom. Me. I'm still moving around this bitch, right? I'm chilling, right? I don't know how many months before that, but months before that, I had a stroke. I'm 25 years old. I'm not bragging on the shit, but I'm bragging on the spirit, because I know that's where it comes from. Oh, no, this ain't God, nigga. This the spirit. Now, let me take you a little back to what I was just saying prior about the dead cells as far as our DNA. That junk DNA, when you activate that shit, this shit is no longer, you just no longer needed. You feel what I'm saying? Truly, the living dead. You walking dead. You know what I'm talking about? Dead, but dreaming. You know, when you read the Necronomicon, you will understand that shit. Dead, but dreaming. When you dreaming, you in the subterranean realm. You in the subconscious realm. The true realm. The real realm. You feel what I'm saying? And when you dead, you're actually alive. You feel what I'm talking about? Because this isn't living. So that's what the fuck that mean for a motherfucker, before a motherfucker be like, this nigga crazy and all that shit. But I am, and I'll take that, because this is what's going on. Everybody outside of you, nigga, including me, everybody outside of you, your family, and all that shit, your inner house, the motherfucker that you know, because you don't know what the fuck I do outside of this, outside of YouTube. You know what the fuck I tell you. So, including me, everybody outside of that nigga don't exist. And you need to think like that. You need to carry on life like that. Those motherfuckers don't exist. You know what I'm saying? When you play a game, right, even your character don't exist, right? The NPCs don't exist. The whole story, the whole plot, it doesn't exist. And you carry on about that shit, right? But with the celebrities and with people in life and all that shit or whatever, you don't do that because you think it's real, but it's not. These people, these entities, whatever the fuck they are, these clones, they are programmed to watch us, monitor us. You know it's clones around here, but they watching us. It's this dude that's they over here, right? This old ass white man. I'm gonna say his name because I don't think that's his name. His name is Tyrone. What old ass racist white man you know named Tyrone? Right. Now, one of my dudes told me that this nigga was in protective custody and he was a whistleblower. And you know what the fuck whistleblower is. He basically told on the government, like high government officials, get drunk with their ass, tell them their ass or whatever, right? Bro, this nigga be talking about all types of shit, bro. Now I absorb, but you not finna small talk me, bro. Not the black man. Hell no, you ain't finna do that to me. Fuck are you talking about? So I don't like this nigga. I be calling nigga troglodyte and everything. Troglodyte nigger, man. I be telling his ass, hey, I be telling his ass, we fucked up when we created y'all. That's what I be telling him. Like I don't be getting into it. He just annoying. He be eating in the garbage and shit, walking around acting like he crazy and retarded, picking garbage out of the garbage can and shit, eating it. I was over here for a year. I've been gone for about 8-9 months. Right? This nigga wear the same thing, a red shirt with the button up and some motherfucking shorts. The same thing, but watch this. His rent is paid for years. And he got bread. You don't got to take her in there. It's a front. So the shit true. You know what I'm saying? He a whistleblower and all that shit. But the nigga be trying to talk to me about some bullshit. Nigga be trying to talk to me about some astral projection, all of that shit or whatever. Yeah, but he's saying it like the shit like, nigga, if you know about astral projection and how we talking about astral projection, you know what it is. Nigga, some spiritual shit ain't got nothing to do with no physical shit, whatever. This nigga talking about teleportation. So you just got the ability to teleport. If you got the ability to teleport, how the fuck is your ass in protective custody? You feel what I'm saying? The thing is, my nigga said he gonna tell this shit to anybody who won't listen to him, and that's true. You know what I'm saying? And I guess if you cool with the nigga, it'll get that further. But nigga, that's I ain't selling out for nan nigga, nan motherfucking you know what, right? So any fucking ways, right? I said to say this: if that motherfucker's a whistleblower, that would be the plant right there. Now, where I'm at, I'm in Charlotte, but the street I'm on, where I'm staying at, it's like that. It's it's poverty, nigga. Fuck you talking about, nigga. I'm poor righteous teacher, nigga. That's where we at with it. But I said that to say this, it's fucked up over here, but so it's gonna be a lot of us over here. It's white motherfuckers over here too, the crackheads, homeless motherfuckers and shit or whatever, and they ain't part of that plot too. But my nigga, it only happens in these type of areas is what I'm getting at, basically. It's been that many motherfuckers coming up missing over here. See, I know this because I pay attention to this shit. It's been that many niggas and females, all that shit, coming up missing, white, black, it don't matter, and disappearing, leaving, or with all types of shit or whatever, right? And then another motherfucker come over here or just be over here and look just like that motherfucker. You feel me? Right? But I spoke on this before. I spoke on this with that naked white lady. You feel what I'm saying? And her family got rid of her, and then the motherfucking her family got her. And it was another whole different motherfucker but looked just like her. Right? That was one motherfucker, but that's probably when I started noticing it though, you know what I'm saying? But I've been seeing a lot more. And I just put two and two together with Buddy ass, you feel what I'm saying? Because he act like he crazy and he walking around this bitch. Before that shit happened to me and all that shit, I was just telling you about some other shit happened where like this girl, she had shot this nigga up or whatever. I don't know, I think he was trying to take some ass or something, I don't know, but she popped that stupid she popped his ass up though. But it happened where I was there at. You feel what I'm saying? And then the people was like, oh yeah, man, it happened over there. Woo. So I couldn't go inside of my little spot. You feel what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, what the fuck going on? Police like, yeah, you can't go in there. Woo. I bug up on their ass. I ain't over bug up, but I bugged up to the point to where, man, they would have they if it was that situation, they would have popped my ass or whatever. I realize I'm a god amongst men. If that's you and it is you, you watching this shit or whatever, you feel what I'm saying? It's a plot that's going on in this bitch. This is a game, this is a movie, whatever you want to call it, whatever, you feel what I'm saying? These police ain't nobody but henchmen, minion, whatever you want to call it, so they don't really know too much. But that nigga, the spirit told me this anyway, but that nigga, the police officer, thought I was a regular motherfucker, thought I was one of these crazy motherfuckers out here that they put out here, you know what I'm saying? That's why he let me go, you know what I'm saying? I'm quote unquote like an asset, you get what I'm saying? That's why he couldn't see, you feel what I'm saying? But nigga, everybody outside of you and your family is fake and false. It don't exist. You want to go deep, your family don't exist. You know what I'm saying? But you niggas, you'll get to that point. I'm not telling you to not what you call it. This has to be a mental thing. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where it starts, nigga. We've been at a war since before you was born. For sure. Since before I was born, since before you was born, for sure. But a cold war is not a war when you going and doing all this shit. So that's not. It's never gonna be a time when we doing it. When it comes to that, nigga, it's probably gonna be 1,000 of us left. Right? Speaking of 1,000, right? Listen to the motherfucking African voodoo drugs. Meditate. My girl, she start she start feeling funny. She just come into her, you know what I'm saying, her knowledge and shit. So she start feeling funny, so she starts to meditate. She do that shit or whatever. She got a cold ass imagination. And she said she saw us in the desert. She said it had to be Africa. It was the out of the desert. But it was though, but you know what I'm saying, when we figured it out. But she saw us in Africa. It wasn't that many people. There was no houses. We was in the desert. But they was painted in white and we was dancing in a circle. You feel what I'm saying? And like a fire and shit. So I start looking shit up. We find the Karo tribe. And last year, 2021, it was 3,000 of them. 2022, it's only 1,000 of them. You know what I'm saying? That's a real spiritual tribe. You feel what I'm saying? Y'all need to look them up and fuck with them and fuck with that energy. You know what I'm saying? Because now that it's leaving this motherfucker, whatever, we the only ones that can revive that type of energy or whatever. You feel what I'm saying? Nobody's using that shit. Nobody's gonna be using that shit or whatever. You feel what I'm talking about? So it's not tainted. When you look it up, it's probably gonna say some shit about Christianity, but you don't want to do that. You want to look up the spiritual things that they're doing. Everything that's been colonized already, but you want to look up the spiritual shit they was doing. But they fucked up though. You know what I'm saying? And we still trying to figure out. You know what I'm talking about? Why we've been channeled by their ass or whatever? Because they still here. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah. There's been a whole bunch of shit going on, man, and it's gonna continue to be a whole lot of shit going on, and you gotta know that, nigga. You the only one that's real, so this shit don't affect you. How it's gonna affect you? See, they ain't talking about COVID because they couldn't stop it. The true light I heard was, cause nigga, I'm not the only nigga talking about this. The true light was Omicron. But it already hit you if you never caught it. Everybody caught this shit. We the vessels that's infecting motherfuckers. The living dead. You see what I'm saying? Because this light is gonna activate the shit that's going on inside of your junk DNA. You see what I'm saying? This phase lambda light. Look up phase lambda. Like look up the phase lambda, and then look up the COVID bacteria, like the microbes. It's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Prokaryotic cells, prions, all that. It's the same shit. You know what I'm saying? And what they telling us is, nigga, is that you possess a gene, which is just melanin. If you possess that shit or whatever, and it's not even just melanin, but everybody's gonna do it, but it has to be us that does this shit. And when I say that shit, you don't take pride in that shit. Do that shit, cause nigga, it's a fucked up ass journey. You know what I'm saying, nigga? You could take all the pride you want. It's honorable. That's fine. But my nigga, it's us. You know what I'm saying? And us don't be moving like us. Is what I'm getting at. Us, a lot of us, then took paths. You don't take paths. You get what I'm saying? That's not what you do. You know what I'm saying? You psychic, you can do all that shit or whatever. That's fine, and you help motherfuckers or whatever. That's what you're supposed to be doing or whatever. But you supposed to utilize that shit to go further, and deeper into your subconscious mind. It's all this is about is your subconscious mind, right? Now, obviously, if you like that, then motherfuckers is gonna be attracted to you or whatever, right? You ain't learned that you're supposed to pull back on your motherfucking energy. You get what I'm saying? You have free will, and if your free will is to, man, I'm gonna do this, I want to do this, I want to help people, I want to do that, I want to do all that shit or whatever. That shit's gonna come with a motherfucking price. But at the end of the day, when you lose your motherfucking flesh, right, where you gonna go? Ain't nobody talking about this because ain't nobody came with the terms that, yeah, I'm spiritual, yeah, I'll be one of the gods. You feel what I'm saying? But the gods die. It's plenty of stories about these spirits, all these guys and goddesses. There's plenty of stories about them, how they die and they come back, but they die. But they die and they come back. That's your story, nigga. That tells you that these motherfucking spirits are a part of you. The fact that these motherfuckers can die, that's so it can relate to your motherfucking ass. But you're not supposed to die. It's a trick. It's an illusion. What we living in right now is Maya. This is what the motherfucking ancient Aztecs called this bitch, which means illusion. You get what I'm saying? So, if this shit is an illusion, you don't die. The only thing that is impenetrable, you feel what I'm saying, is the soul. You feel what I'm talking about? But the subconscious mind, i.e. the soul, you feel what I'm talking about, doesn't know like all how we communicate. It just knows. So back to what I was saying before. If when you die, if you believe, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna go to heaven, then you will. And the motherfucking the spirit is gonna go wherever the soul is, right? So if the soul believed, or you lived a life of, I'm gonna go to heaven or whatever, you didn't believe nothing or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Your spirit is going to go wherever, in whichever realm that motherfucking soul was anchored in. You feel what I'm saying? For however many years, you feel what I'm talking about? While you incubate and learn there and have a whole life there. You feel what I'm saying? Die again and incarnate into another body, a physical body, and it starts all over again. And you come back, nigga, you be God. Yeah, nigga, because you might have been in an etherical realm. You feel what I'm saying? But I don't think niggas understand it. You feel what I'm saying? When because you still human as far as mentally thinking. So when you die, you thinking about human shit. You know what I'm saying? So or your worst fears, which is still human shit. So I don't know what you think, but the concept of it is, because all it is this right here. Because I told you it's the same shit. You die, you thinking you're going to heaven, then you're going to hell, right? You find yourself in a realm just like this, in a reality just like this, but your worst, or what you think is your best. You know what I'm saying? Whatever people told you was the best. In my mind, when I was a child, when they said I'm gonna die, I can possibly go to heaven, I thought it was something like out of a movie where you standing on water. But you're not standing on water. It just looks like that, and there's clouds around and nothing else, like nobody else. And you walk in, and then a person appear, yeah, come with me or whatever, and then you'll probably see somebody or whatever and all that shit. That shit boring as hell. And ain't no ass, ain't no weed. I'm thinking like a human. Because if I'm going to something like that, that's what the fuck I want to do. You got to think beyond the mind of a human being. You get what I'm saying? And to do that, you feel what I'm talking about? You have to escape this motherfucking realm. And to do that, you have to have an Osirian body. You feel what I'm talking about? In order to have an Osirian body, nigga, you got to fuck with all of this shit. You get what I'm saying? Now, who is Osiris? Osiris is your subconscious mind. You the Heru, you the Horus. You the Horus and the Set. You feel what I'm saying? Horus and the Set. You feel what I'm saying? This the true Set. Because they got two of them. You get what I'm saying? The two come in when you have Horus and you have Set. Right? Meaning the motherfucking conscious mind or the ego. You get what I'm saying? But then you have Set or Osiris, you feel what I'm saying? The subconscious mind. You get what I'm talking about? The Father. You get what I'm saying? You're supposed to be redeeming the Father, which is still all of that shit is you, my nigga. Set cut Osiris up into 14 different pieces. But Set was worshipped in pre-dynastic Egypt. You feel what I'm saying? And Set, when the people that worship Set, they used to cut up the mummies in 14 different pieces. So that's just the ritual that they took from Set. Because mind you, all these deities, you feel what I'm saying, were created from Set, which Set represents your melanin. That's soot. That's the black substance. And right here, medulla oblongata, look this shit up. You feel what I'm saying? When you're looking up neuromelanin and all that shit, it's gonna come up in your ganglia or your whatever that shit's called. But your medulla oblongata, right here. This is where the rawest part of your melanin is. And when it is illuminated or whatever, right? It's projected. It comes like through. So here and through out your motherfucking pineal gland. And then he comes the bright face, which is Horus. You feel what I'm saying? But you got to look up all the other different Horus. Horus the Elder. You feel what I'm saying? Hippocrates. Horesius. You feel what I'm saying? All of these different deities and aspects play a big fucking part. So, but basic shit, like, basically, It's the subconscious, well, the conscious mind, the ego on the surface level. But the conscious mind is the conscious mind goal, right? The conscious mind goal is to give the ego what it wants, because the ego is not going to allow you, right? It's not going to allow you to do what you need to do. When you're thinking about the conscious mind and ego, think about them as Siamese twins, but the ego being more dominant. You want your conscious mind to be more dominant. The only way to do that is to dictate your, is to have your subconscious mind dictate your reality. But to do that, you got to study. You got to study. You have to meditate, and you got to break all of these little human like mannerisms and all the little tics and shit. And what I mean by that is like, okay, the ego gonna always say, "No, nigga, you don't know that." You gonna be like, "Yeah, I don't. Fuck it, right? I ain't gonna fuck with that shit." So you study, right? Ego can't say that shit, right? You gonna meditate. You gonna itch. You don't have to itch. I don't itch. When you meditate, tell yourself, I don't itch. You know what I'm saying? Focus on your breathing. You feel what I'm saying? Focus on being still. Become aware of all your limbs, your body, or whatever, and see yourself stepping outside of your body or whatever. Truly become aware if you haven't already been doing that already. You get what I'm saying? When you do this or whatever, right, what you actually doing is going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into a trance. You get what I'm saying? You want to put yourself in alpha state. If you don't know what alpha state is when you're just focusing on anything, you just lose focus. You're just staring at it, you just lose focus. It's easy as fuck to do because you do it all the time. That's what you want to do when you meditate for a long period of time, and you want to have one main focus. You get what I'm saying? That main focus, you feel what I'm saying? It could really be anything, but right now we're talking about this, is getting to the subconscious mind. You want to get to the subconscious mind. You want to program yourself with whatever, you know what I'm saying, is working for you at that time. So like I said, we you know, you got routines. The subconscious mind, it speaks in trauma, repetition, and symbols. You know what I'm saying? So you want to study things like that. You want to do sigil magic, all things like that. You constantly looking at it, focusing on it, so that when you're dreaming, you can figure out the signs. You get what I'm saying? Because that's how your subconscious mind gonna talk to you. You're gonna see. It's not gonna be like, "Hey, nigga, whoa." It only gets to that shit when you get deeper. You feel what I'm saying? And that's what the fuck is going on. Like that's what you want a motherfucker to do. So after all of that, right? After all of that, once you start aligning your dreams with your reality, right? Your ego tends to not really exist no more. It exists because it's a part of you, but it tends to not exist no more. It's not. It's non-dominant. You feel what I'm saying? There was a point in time when we didn't have an ego. We needed an ego because the world around us became, I guess, more rough, and we became more fragile. You see what I'm talking about? We were etheric at the time, but the more and more our vibration fell, the more and more dense we became. You see what I'm saying? And I know you motherfuckers know this shit already. I know you know this shit already. But I'm just saying, a lot of motherfuckers act like they don't know what's going on. I just heard a motherfucker great by talk about, yeah, this is the Aquarian age, and we stepping into the time of basically the same shit I'm talking about. But nigga, I'm motherfucking new to this shit. I ain't new to this shit, but I'm new to y'all. You feel what I'm saying? The motherfucker that been doing this shit, right? Cause I was just talking about this shit to my motherfucking people. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm that nigga. I'm the motherfucker. I call me a gatekeeper because I don't give a damn. I'm gonna sit here and just talk to my people, not on camera. You know what I'm saying? Cause I don't care. You know what I'm talking about? And motherfucker just told me like, man, Joe, like you can get a platform and you can do all that. I'm gonna do this shit, but it's like I still ain't. I keep saying the same shit. Motherfucker say you get on a platform, you drop your cash app, you gonna get paid for knowledge and woo. I ain't do this shit yet. You feel what I'm saying? Like I say I'm gonna do this shit, I ain't do it. You feel what I'm saying? This motherfucker got 11,000 followers. told me like, yeah, I'm gonna help you boost it up, but I ain't do it because I spend most of my time studying. You know what I'm saying? Like I got shot, I had a stroke, all that shit. I'm still reading. I'm still watching my lectures. I'm still trying to break down shit. You feel me? I'm still meditating. I'm saying I'm still dealing with the spirit. I just talked to my homie the other day. This nigga right here. You see this BIP key one? I just talked to my nigga the other day. My nigga say, man, he was sorry, right? He tell me sorry, watched the band, that he didn't listen to me. Listen, right? We was locked up in 2015, right? And IDJJ, which is Illinois Department of Juvenile Justice, little DOC for the motherfuckers that's from Illinois, the docs. We locked up. It's my nigga known. You feel me? So we booked. We in that bitch. We on, for motherfuckers that know, we on Williams Cottage. We sitting in that bitch, day room time. He like, I'm not gonna say I ain't finna say my government because I don't want niggas to know my government. So I'm gonna say my nickname. He like, man, you know, you gonna get my name tatted on your face if I die? I'm like, yeah, nigga, I got you. You gonna do the same to me? You know, we joking. What? At least this is what the fuck I thought. You feel what I'm saying? He like, yeah, woo woo. You feel what I'm saying? We merch it on our homie. We both got this tattoo. You feel what I'm saying? He got it on his chest. I got this shit right there. I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to talk about this shit. I tell everybody this story because this is what the fuck happened. This is way before I became conscious. You get what I'm saying? I was 17 or 18. You know what I'm saying? So he like, I think, yeah. So he like, tells that like I don't want to talk about that shit, right? My nigga go, oh, it was the month of my motherfucker, my birthday, nigga, my birth month, August. I'm leaving, the dietary, right? Child, my brother, he like, yeah, man, QY dead. Oh, what? You know me and my brother, we rappies on the same case. We just wasn't on the same cottage and shit. He was on Pierce Cottage. Niggas know. Anybody that's watching that was locked up with us, y'all out, you know what the fuck going on. So he like, yeah, man, Q1 died. I'm like, what? Now, a nigga told me he was gonna kill my homie, so I'm already like, yeah, man, I'm already knowing what's going on. I'm finna get out. Ooh. So yeah, I'm blue, but I'm mad because I know what's going on. Whole time, him and his cousin and some other motherfuckers, you feel what I'm saying? You know, they sipping lean, smoking. Bro, his cousin driving, he fall asleep. They crash. My homie down impact, his heart explode. So he just, you know what I'm saying? He just felt so sorry or whatever. But guess what though? My nigga told me he better than ever. He way better than. Listen, nigga, this the T right here for me. All the other shit I said was important. That was for y'all. This for me. My nigga say he better. You feel what I'm saying? My nigga was angry when he was here, and I didn't know that. I didn't know. Nigga, I was a kid. We was shorty. He was angry. Thinking back, I can see it because I can feel the energy now. You know what I'm saying? I can travel back in time, nigga. That's what we do. You feel what I'm saying? I travel back in time and I be in the realms with him. You feel what I'm saying? When he was alive, and I can feel like, yeah, nigga, I can see that shit. You feel what I'm saying? But my nigga say I'm better than ever. I'm way better now than I was then. And if I knew what I knew now, he say this how I know it was him. The shit he was saying. He say, nigga, I bet you, nigga, this what we say, nigga. I know it just sound like regular talk, nigga, but this is his language. I bet you, nigga, I bet you I wouldn't I'd be, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have did none of that shit. I'm sorry I didn't listen to you, nigga. Man, you gotta forgive me, shit. You feel what I'm saying? My nigga learning. But he better be learning. Fuck you tell me I got this book. I got this nigga on my motherfucking altar. I got this motherfucking book open for it. Well, I just opened that book for him when he told me that shit. I ain't finna lie. But you know what I'm saying? I done done so much shit, you know what I'm saying, for him though. So that shit felt good for me for this nigga to come through, you know what I'm saying, and tell me that shit. I had a few channels or whatever, you feel what I'm saying? A few of my homies. I didn't know, you know what I'm saying, like ain't no name come through, but it was one of my homies, You feel what I'm saying? This was like through a reader, and she cold as hell. He was like, he want a coat. You know what I'm saying? So I got to get this nigga a motherfucking altar and get this nigga a coat. You feel what I'm saying? This nigga cold. Probably ain't believe in nothing. That's real shit. It's my dog, but it probably ain't believe in them. But that's fine. So you have people that you knew that you gonna know right now that don't believe in anything. You feel what I'm saying? And you know you gotta believe in something. When you pass on, you don't believe in nothing. You find yourself dark. You remember watching them shows growing up, and then mediums. They be that shit real. Motherfucker be like, oh yeah, it's dark. I don't see nothing that's black because they didn't believe in anything. Deep in their heart, they didn't believe in nothing. So you find yourself in a dark, cold place until you reincarnate. Right, well, you would have spent what you feel like is eternity in complete darkness. Or you probably do. One of my girl, her closest friends, whatever, right? He don't believe in shit. He truly believes that when you die, all you're gonna see is darkness, right? So he overdosed. They revive him. He says he was in complete darkness. He said it was peaceful because that's what he wants. He don't want this world, and he say, man, I just would feel at peace if I was just dead and all that shit. He say shit like that. So he overdosed, and that was his experience. Of course, that motherfucker is the same. He don't get no fucking, it didn't touch his motherfucking soul because he doesn't have one. But that just goes to show, you know what I'm saying, how your mind plays a big part in this shit. You feel what I'm saying? Everybody got a motherfucking spirit. Not everybody's real though. You feel what I'm saying? Some of us came back here. You feel like you don't want to come back, right? If you feel like you don't want to come back, like this your last thing, it's the reason why you feel like that. Because you chose to come back. You had the complete knowledge on getting out of this motherfucker, right? But I guarantee you have karmic debt. Not no nigga, I stepped on something, I did this, that, and third. None of that shit, nigga. Right now, nigga, if you have an ex, you know what I'm saying, you got somebody you with, whatever, a family member, anybody, you don't want to hold no ill will towards them. Don't wish none of that shit on nobody because that shit carries on in the next life. That's what the fuck that means when motherfuckers talking about karma. It doesn't mean if I kill somebody, then something gonna come back to me. Those white motherfuckers that did all that fucked up shit, supposedly, to us or whatever, as far as divine law of retribution goes or whatever, those spirits will be punished. That's how that shit goes. And you will have a hand in that shit, right? But it's not going to be, oh, yeah, nigga, I remember what you did for me in 2018. None of that, or the 9th. None of that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's the act will be punished or whatever the fuck. It will be dealt with. You know what I'm saying? But that don't explain what's going on right now. You're responsible for that. So you get with a motherfucker and you break up and you fuck that bitch or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And you die. You're going to meet that motherfucker again and y'all going to fall in love and y'all going to be together. It may or may not work. You know what I'm saying? But you're going to have to get over what you had to get over again. But you going to make that decision because you have that ability. You're not going to be able to leave until you do it. You gotta make it right. Karma only means basically to balance yourself. You know what I'm saying? It comes from Horus and Mayat. You know what I'm saying? Harmakuf, Harmageddon, Armageddon, karma. The balance of the body. You know what I'm saying? That's it. I said all that to shit to say that the motherfuckers outside of you are not real. Pay attention to everybody that you don't know. Pay attention to everybody that you don't know personally outside of your family, inside of your house. If you don't know what that motherfucker doing, question that motherfucker. Watch them. Watch your neighbors. Watch everybody that you see on a day-to-day basis, and watch the change up. Pay attention to the numbers. Figure out your natal chart. Figure out your life path number, because that shit plays a big part. But motherfuckers will talk to you about that shit. You can't talk to me about that shit. Motherfuckers talk to me about that shit like, oh yeah, well, nigga, I know about that shit, but what does it mean for you? My life path number 11, so that means I'm a life path master or whatever the fuck, right? You know what I'm saying? That means that I done mastered some things, right? So that, and you know that if a motherfucker fuck with a motherfucker, that means that I don't gotta do nothing and they don't get fucked up, right? That's what they tell you, or that's what you figure out. You know what I'm saying? But if you figure it out, then you would know why that happens. You know how you made these deals with these entities and all that shit, because it's done different ways. You know what I'm saying? And we chose this shit. The body you in, the body you possess. I just told you that. The body you possess, the individual body, you the individual, the spirit, the soul. The body you possess, you chose that. You chose the parents because it lined up for what was going to balance you out in this particular life, so that when you pass, you can live. I don't know. Food for thought, though, man. For educational purposes only. Peace to the gods and goddesses of whatever planets I want to call it.